In 2015, along with the Reserve Bank of Fiji, we did a financial services demand side survey to estimate to what extent people are using and accessing various financial products and services. So that included banking, that included insurance, that included superannuation, and it was found then that the levels of insurance penetration in the country was pretty low. As a percentage of number of active adults who are having insurance, any form of insurance, was only 12%. When you talk about 12%, it's just hardly 1/10 of the total adult population or 1/10 of the total households. The three main reasons given by people was lack of awareness. Two is that they did not know where to access insurance, and third was the affordability. And the very fact that people are not accessing it means that they were not able to afford the conventional insurance. And that's when this idea of having microinsurance sort of evolved. It was decided that the existing conventional insurance will not suit the insurance needs of people, and you have to look at specific microinsurance products that are not only made available quite easily for them, plus more importantly, it is made available at a very affordable cost.
This product was first initiated by the Reserve Bank of Fiji together with Pacific Financial Inclusion Program. They have been having discussions for almost 2 years with all the insurance companies to come up with a product, and that is where FijiCare Insurance realized the importance of this product and the need for this product for all the people who don't have access to any form of insurance. So that is where FijiCare made a decision to take the risk and to experience this new product.
It's to that extent it is different from the conventional insurance, basically because microinsurance has to have a different product design, has to have different forms of delivery, because this segment, which is low income, typically has sort of differentiated needs when compared to those who can afford the conventional insurance.
In relation to being inclusive, basically looking after the most vulnerable in Fijian society, we have a few programs which the ministry is mandated to look after, and this includes the social pension scheme, the can protection allowance for children, single-parented children. We've got the poverty benefit scheme, the disability allowance. So what this microfinance insurance bundle has done, it's brought all these beneficiaries basically into being included, having an insurance package to look after them and the beneficiaries. So if you look at the beneficiaries of these social welfare schemes, would be Fijians who would not normally have been able to afford insurance for them and their families. This insurance package has brought them into the fold.
The microinsurance product covers death, funeral claims, term life. It also covers disability due to an accident only, and also fire damage to the house where the members are actually residing. It may be either he's renting that place or whether it's owned or renting. We need groups of 50 to join this scheme to be viable.
One entity, which is the master policy holder, is responsible for collecting or aggregating a group of people. The first such group was the Sugarcane Growers Fund, which amalgamated nearly 12,000 of its sugarcane farmers into one group. So they are responsible for the individual premium collections and paying to the insurance company. They also collect the various forms and other things required, so much so that it saves that administrative cost to the insurance company, and they can offer the insurance at a lower cost than what they would have if they had offered it on an individual basis.
Because the premium is very cheap. The premium is just $1 a week. So in order for that to function properly, we need that.
It's a perfect example of what the UN can do in conjunction with national governments to bringing people who would have been normally left behind into national development. Prior to this insurance package being put in place, we used to get calls all the time from families that we look after, where the beneficiary has died, and they're looking for assistance from government to look after the funeral expenses, to get the family back on their feet. With the insurance scheme in place, I don't get those kind of calls anymore. the insurance package itself takes care of funeral expenses in particular. And we've got stories of children whose parent, who was the sole beneficiary, has died, and these children who are in school, they basically have nowhere to go to. And now with the insurance package in place, it looks after that aspect of it for them.
My wife passed away on Thursday. Friday, when I took the doctor's certificate in the morning, I gave it to the FijiCare. The next day, they called me and they gave me a check of $1,000. These FijiCare people, they helped me out for our funeral, because we Indians, we have plenty things to do in our ritual ways. So that support was a bit good for me when I applied on that one. The first payment, they give me $1,000. And they say after 10 working days, next payment will be given to you. So with their $1,000 plus my family support me too for funeral and everything. Then my wife, I gave a burial in 9 Miles Cemetery.
Just a few months back, my mother passed away. Our family didn't have any savings for a funeral. 3 days after my mother passed away, FijiCare Insurance came home and gave to me the $1,000 money to start the funeral expenses. After the funeral, Fiji Corporation Limited called me again that I should come down and bring my mother's death certificate. He told me that there is $3,000. When I bought that $3,000, $1,000 I kept it with me. Just last week, we had our mother's 100 nights here. Then all our sisters came. Then I do the shopping from that $1,000 again.
From the 12%, thanks to the bundled microinsurance that FijiCare launched, and it has reached 120,000 plus people, we estimate that the current insurance penetration is close to 40% of the total Fijian adults. And this number will continue to grow, basically because FijiCare proposes to reach out to more groups, and it's a very positive thing for the market, because more and more households would be under the protection of insurance, and then there will be a better sort of risk resilience built into the households, and they'll be able to absorb shocks. So at least the financial shocks that come out of such events much better than what they were before. The coping mechanisms will obviously get strengthened.
The insurance provides a form of security, protection or assurance to the people of Fiji. So by the government supporting this scheme, sponsoring this scheme for the civil servants and social welfare recipients, it goes to show how much the government cares for the people of Fiji. And we hope that the government continues to do that, because people are appreciating that on a daily basis. We see them benefit from this product, and we time and again we mention to them that this is what the government is doing for you people, and they're very happy about that. They appreciate that.
With this insurance package, with government basically footing the bill, that changes basically the dynamics of insurance for our country.
O tuku mai levu ka sala tuku ni kina via o ni sa kama na nongovan kama vakandua saranga simdua tale ya po au sara rao au tangi au sakila tungani sara sing madala dona kai rao tale se ngai or tona fire to tuku nai na dora tuku nai vivu ke e tuku vana sosonel fea ke munini tori lava tuku kia au kai tuku nai hio kai tuku lorto Io sarang isolme ke andona vivu ke ko volia mnanga na mkawa idake na lalanga ngai lalanga na kawa sa kama tungo sanga ya doma indona ngonele o me na social welfare to sanga me volana no gufom ngai ko tala virtu o tinga to la mada o sara idana lavo ni saka mai o sa marau o sa va ko vina ka o sa tuna vana luvengu ni sa kiro tiki vurida sarna boletana vale. Wala kau, wala kawa, na yaya lalai to zoko, na vako, kani valelai, na kena paipo, Na paipani wai, ka ke vea o sa wuli e tau dako mai kina. O waka vina ka viro tona social welfare ni rato solia mai vea o indona kena wasini lavo mo mai wakainga taka wanana mo pale.
My dad, he basically started working with the Fiji police force in the year 1989. He unfortunately passed away this year. There is actually a FijiCare scheme. We really didn't know much about it. We only got to know about it until my dad passed away. And that's when some of his colleagues came over to pay their last respect. And that's how we came to know that the government had offices covered, like if there was a funeral, for example. When we found out, we were collectively happy as a family. The next day, Friday, the police force came sometime around 4 p.m. That's when they actually presented the check over to us. That particular assistance was very, it came in a timely manner. I feel the insurance payout is a very useful thing. Taking into account, like for us, most of that payout was used for the funeral.
The fire happened in my house on 10th of May. At about 7 o'clock we were just sitting. Myself and my wife were sitting in the sitting room and she saw the smoke on top. My daughter ran to her room. She saw the fire on her bed. The fire was only on the pillow, the bookshelf and the walls. I brought the hosepipe from outside to inside. I tried to put the fire out but I can't do that. By 20 minutes my house was fully burned down. What we lost was whole of the lives, savings, everything was lost. After 2 weeks, I think I went down to welfare and they told me to fill one form. So they supported me with $1,000. After that, they told me you go to FijiCare Insurance. I went to FijiCare, I gave them my documents, fire report, police report and my birth certificate and account number. Because after 2 weeks we checked the account and then we will get the money in the account.
We had teams of like PFIP staff going and spending time with the sugarcane farmers in the field and talking to them in groups. We also did that with the various fishers in Kandavu, in say Vanuatu and in the west. And we found that when you spend time with them and sort of educate them and create awareness, so many of them are very keen on protecting themselves and their households and their assets more importantly. So we feel that with a targeted campaign and with the support of the industry, the insurance awareness can really be raised, and this will certainly lead to a higher access and penetration of insurance in the country and indeed in the Pacific. Prior to having insurance, many of them did not have other fallback mechanisms. So they had to either borrow money from known people or from the family members. They had to postpone certain important expenses, including sort of rebuilding their house, including like probably spending the money on higher education of the children or buying important assets for the family. There was also this question of drawing upon their like pension funds and their existing savings in the banks. So what they would have otherwise kept for their post-retirement or post-60, or what they would have kept for rebuilding their house or renovating their house, it was all washed away once this sort of thing happens. And many families also felt that otherwise they would have been driven or pushed into poverty, but this assistance came at the right time and they could like continue to send their children to school, to sort of send their children for higher education, and they did not have to sort of dip into their existing savings.
My advice is it's better to get insured, because we never know when there is a need of money. Someone passed away, we don't know. Just like as the same thing I went through.
Kila usengi tunikila ni dhabna inistua. Au waka vina kataka ni nanu ni ukina matanitu. Mistulia meindona kani inistua bihawe.
The insurance which I received on behalf of my wife helped me a lot. Like somebody come in hand to hand stand beside me and helping me out.
The good thing about this scheme is that it's the government who's paying for it. In situations where tragedies occur, these payouts or this insurance scheme, it's really helpful. I'd like to thank the government for carrying out this particular scheme. I believe this scheme is really helpful, and I think the government should continue to do this. Everyone should get insured. It's for your own benefit, for your own future. And it's never too late to have an insurance policy.
Yeah, the Fijian government is supporting poor people very well. They are looking after poor people very well. I did not pay any premium to FijiCare Insurance, but they still helped me. They supported me with $3,000. I kept that money, and I'll use that money to rebuild my house.
All the civil servants and social welfare recipients, they are all covered under this insurance scheme. So if they have suffered any such loss, if they can always come to FijiCare Insurance. For all the social welfare recipients, they can always go to the nearest social welfare offices to lodge in their claims. The officers there will advise what documents are required. Usually we require for the death funeral claims, the medical cause of death certificate, which is issued by the doctor at the hospital at the time of the loss, the birth certificate of the deceased, the social welfare number, the unique number that they have, the beneficiaries' birth certificate and ID, and marriage certificates. There may be other documents that at time and again we always request. So, and we have a claim form that needs to be filled. So those are the only documents we require. The process that we make our payment, on request we do TMOs for outer islands and other areas where there's no bank facilities. Those who are coming to our office, we even give them checks, and others we deposit it direct into the bank accounts. So that's how we pay the premiums to all the people. And this is all the people all around Fiji, so it's all different modes of payments are used to do this. For fire claim, we need the police report and the fire report as well, which will note the cause of the fire. And accident disability due to an accident is covered. So those the requirement under that section is like we need a doctor's certificate. This is after accident has happened, a person has suffered an injury, and that person has to go through the treatment process. And once the treatment is done, and if the person is disabled, then the doctor issues a medical report and stating the percentage of disability or whatever the disability is. Based on that, then again there is a claim form again to be filled, and then the claim is assessed.
The future of say microinsurance is very exciting. We will be working very closely with the industry and with the regulators in introducing such products in the Pacific.
We're always looking beyond the Pacific for international best practice, but we tend to lose focus on regional best practice, and there's a lot of it, and this is one success story. I would encourage other governments within the Pacific to look at this and take it up for their people. We do quite a bit of it in this ministry, inviting governments from the Pacific to come and look at what we do in relation to the different areas that we serve, whether it's child welfare or empowerment of women. But this, in relation to financial inclusion, is something that could work across the Pacific, and I would encourage other governments to do so as well.